behind these doors, what we're gonna meet is we're gonna meet the man that just brought us some of the most beautiful shoes in the last 15 years. Just real classic styles, all American made, beautiful stuff. So let's go say hi.
So it has dual purposes. It is a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a beautiful tool. With our client pliers, this is it. It's a
something you gotta remind people.
Well, the thing about it is, what we forget a lot of times is the hides themselves, they're natural. It's a natural product. I mean, the cow scratches the fence, it lays on one side maybe, it gets a tick bite or whatever the case may be, and as we go through those and they're tanned, and as a cutter looks around the hide to make sure he cuts the right parts of the piece of the hide, you know, as we brought parts of the pieces here, every part of the cow, we try to get a different part of the hide, because you want the vamp to be out of the back, which is a tougher part. You want the sides to be there. This, which is the gusset, can be the belly leather because it's going to be softer and not as you know, not as tough as you want to say.
Right.
So that's why when a cutter looks at a hide, they lay out certain parts on it for a specific reason.
Many people comment on boots not looking perfect. Pull them out of the box, they don't look perfect. It's like, finally I'm at the point where I've got enough going on with these people that I can combat that and say, listen, that's a natural product. Things happen to natural products. And so you should appreciate a natural product for what it is. You know, if you want perfection, if you want straight flow, straight through, you need vinyl. You know, you don't need leather. You know, if you need something to be perfect every day. Leather has character. Leather grows, gets patina, becomes part of you. As you sweat in a piece of leather, it takes on the characteristics of all your bones, your muscles, and everything else. It becomes part of you.
Yep.
And that's just something that I think got missed the last 25 years of football. We got too accustomed to Air Jordan. We got too accustomed to Die Hard.
Yeah.
You know, and we just forgot that.
Well, and I think a lot of those were made out of man-made material. When you get man-made, like you say, you get consistency. When you're working with a natural product like a leather, like a cow leather or a horse leather, you're going to get imperfections. And it's so hard, even in a tanning process. They do the best they can when they stuff it with the oils and the beeswaxes and everything to get it soft and supple and to bring out the color or to bring out the grain. But once you take it beyond that and put it on a cutting table, once you cut that piece and you force that leather open, those are fibers that break and open up, and each one's going to be a little bit different. You know, leather's like skin. I mean, when you look at the way you flex your skin, why your knuckles get white here, you know, and then they go back. It's just the way skin works. It's the way a hide works. You know, this is a hot stuffed Chrome XL hide, and you can see that pluming takes place when the leather starts to sweat. The oils are actually coming out, but you simply heat it up with a hairdryer and you literally force those oils back into that hide. So when people open a box of what I consider a very good quality made piece of footwear, they open it up and they go, "Oh, Richard, this has got mold on it." No, it doesn't. You can wipe it off or take a hairdryer and heat it up. It actually brings out the oils in the leather.
Yeah, I love it when you get that, take a brush, and you're done brushing it,
Yeah.
You can see a transformation.
Yeah, you also check, this is a great piece because you can explain to people, like, what should I do to care for my boots? Like, this leather, anything, just wipe it off.
Just wipe it off.
And they don't believe it. Like, well, can I put beeswax? I'm like, well, sure, but
there's so much
it's
of it
not
in
gonna do
here.
anything. Like, it's just going to sit on the surface. Like,
Right.
look at what is coming out of the leather. You can't put anything else into it. Like,
That's why we brought this hide too. This is a typical oil tanned tobacco hide. This is soft, supple, it's glove soft from day one.
yeah,
You know, and you can't, no, this has got about a 27-30% oil content. You can see, you know, the richness of the oil in the leather. When you do the pull-up, when you look at it, you can see how the grain changes like that. Again, what that is, that's just the oil coming to the surface and then relaxing.
That's how I sold your shoes for years. You realize that I would grab the 8-inch wedge. I can't remember.
The 40 you do the
4360.
4200.
Okay. The 8-inch version of this.
Oh, the 8-inch. Okay.
And I would have a carpenter or an iron worker come in and talk to me, and I'd be like, well, let me show you what good leather does. And I'd run my finger across it. I go, that's the oil leave-in. I go, that's a good piece of leather. And I would grab one of the lesser brands, and I would show them, like, you see nothing happening. And sometimes they say, well, I want that though. I don't want this to happen because isn't this weak? Isn't this bad? And just had to sit there and pound it into them. But now I got guys who really understand, that this is good.
Yeah, and you can feel the difference. I mean, what they call the hand or the hand of the leather, when people put on, there's no breaking required. What I always like to use is the analogy is like it kind of bathes your foot in comfort when you put it in. And from day one, once you start walking in, that's the way it feels.
Right.
All the time. Handcrafted products these days, they're not as, while they're rare, the quality of them is unsurpassed. We do shoemaking now the same way we did it back in the 30s and 40s. Ryan's been up to our factory, we've seen the machines. I showed him a Singer stitching machine from 1903 that actually does this 3-needle period stitching. That machine still runs in our factory today. The same machine that made this boot 30, 40 years ago still makes that stitch.
Wow.
It's literally amazing. And the women put those things together.
How many hands have been through that machine?
The average... But in a regular 6-inch boot like this, there's 120 operations.
Okay.
From the time we get raw material till the time it goes in the box. There's 120 steps in the fitting, cutting, lasting, finishing operations of the factory.
It blows my mind why they're not more expensive. When you think about stuff that is more expensive, and you really look at it, it's the lesser quality, fewer steps, bigger chunks of leather. All the cuttings and all the pieces of putting this puzzle together.
Exactly. Just from, we'll start with the gusset. Just from the gusset alone. First you have to cut the piece, all right? Then you have to label it. You have to skive the edge. You have to then put your silk label on. Then you have the eye row stays, which have to be split. So this started out this thick, and we split it. We run it through a machine and cut it in half, so it's easier to work with. Then you cut the quarter. Here again, you have an inside quarter, and then you have an outside quarter. So your logo goes on the outside, and you have an inside quarter. Then you cut the vamp, and in the vamp, you have to run the mock stitch, and then there you have to skive it. And the reason we skive it is so that when they overlay one piece of leather to the other, they're not stitching through. It makes it easier on the machines.
Right.
You still get the toughness. That's why you see a 3-row or a 2-row in a shoe. Whenever you see a single stitch like that, I get a little worried.
Yeah.
It's got to be 2-row Puritan or 3-row, because that not only shows durability, but it's a chain locking stitch, which means if you pull one, it's not all going to come out like a zipper. It's going to stop at the first break. Then you've got the backstay. Here again, you skive the top and you skive the bottom, because this gets bent over and stitched to make the loop at the bottom of the shoe. This gets tucked under when you do the welt. And then you have the vamp lining, which has got to be cut, and then this is the counter pocket, the inside counter pocket. So once you get all those components cut, you literally have to stitch all of it together. So you add the flag, you run the eyelets, you have AA brass, then you have stud hooks. There's your inside gusset. Then you put your vamp in. Here is your inside counter pocket. Inside this, we put a thermoplastic counter, which then you start the process of molding it. You literally put the last in the shoe at this point, and then you 4-part mold it, you side last it, you back last it. So that's 3 more steps that happen in the process. And you got to make sure when you're in a lasting, which is the critical part of the shoemaking, if that shoe is off a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, or the guy has the switch and he's got a left-handed pull or a right-handed pull, when you turn it over, that mock will look a little bit left or look a little bit right. So you say, how can they be imperfect? They're handmade. I think, to me, that's the characteristic of each shoe. Every pair is different. Every foot is unique. Why shouldn't every shoe be unique? So after you get the last in, you then go through and stitch the welt on all the way around. Then you would cork fill this, put the shank in there, and from there then you put the midsole, apply the midsole, then you would apply the outsole, and you run a stitch all the way around, and then you trim it. And when you're done, you have a finished product that, here you have a finished boot where you saw the upper parts, you saw the midsole, you saw the welt, you see the outsole. It's all been trimmed off. And then we put a topical hand rub finish on it. We also spray it to seal that in. We hang tag it, box it, and send it out to a happy customer who's bought a proudly made in Wisconsin, USA made product.
Exactly.
And this obviously, this 4200 is iconic, as you know.
Right.
You've dissected it.
Yeah. Many a pairs. Many a pairs.
Many a pairs. And we have a great following, not only here in Wisconsin, but in the United States and also worldwide. And obviously it comes in our tobacco signature color. It's also available in black. And it's available in our dirty brown.
Dirty brown looks good.
Yeah, it's a new up and coming color for us. It's really what they call a trail crazy horse.
Yeah.
This has got a little, again, similar characteristics. You know, it'll get real gnarly looking from the get-go. It looks broke in from day one. And guys on the job site love it because they don't have to worry about it.
Well, they're not going to be made fun of. You show up on the job site with a brand new pair of 4200s.
This kind of
everybody's stepping on your shoes all day. Oh, you got new boots.
This kind of
At least
steps
this
out.
way, you know,
Yep.
you at least get 3 or 4 hours before somebody notices.
You can just throw a handful of dirt on here and it'll stick to it a little bit too. So
Yeah.
you can fake it.
And obviously we make these in a 6-inch safety and non-safety, 8-inch safety and non-safety. And next year we're introducing a waterproof version.
Wow.
So you'll see a waterproof version. I'm kind of letting the cat out of the bag here, but
Super technical.
next fall it'll be a waterproof version of this.
Wow.
I'm not at liberty to tell you what liner. we're
Okay,
gonna
that's
use, but-
fine, but man, guys are going to love that.
Yeah, we've had a lot of calls. We have an insulated version, but we've not had anything waterproof. And we're learning in our factory how to do that. So it's been a struggle. Obviously, we've made the best online boots, in my opinion, for many, many years. And to try to get the engineers on board and the right pattern people to put a bootie in here to make it fit properly, we're really excited about it. So in probably July or August of next year, we will introduce the new 4200 and the waterproof version.
I can't wait for that.
It's going to be in a pit stop leather, a Briar pit stop. We're not going to do it in tobacco. We're going to segment it in a Briar
really?
pit stop
Okay.
leather. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we can have you review it and,
Oh, yeah.
and see what you think of it. But yeah, that's pretty. I think our entry level, when we get into that market on the waterproof side, it'll just take off. It really will. I'm very confident in that. Our consumers have been asking for that, wanting to say, "Can't you do something waterproof? Can't you do something waterproof?" And
Makes sense for you guys. You do a lot of, obviously with like the all the safety style boots, you do all the testing. That waterproofing seems like it's
yeah,
a
and what we
logical
did,
step.
I mean, this has been a process that's been going on for about a year and a half, and we wanted to do it right. We have field tested about 6 different linings, waterproof different PTFEs and things like that, and we put them in job sites, both here in the north and in the south, and actually the Pacific Northwest as well. We wanted to make sure that we got it right the first time. So it's a learning process for us. I mean, we can just come in and jump in the market and be the me too, but one of the things that Weinbrenner and Thorogood has done over time is taken its time to introduce new product. When we first introduced safety shoes back in the 1920s, we were the first company to put steel in shoes and patent it. So we look at it from the worker standpoint, because that's what we do. We're a work boot company. That's our claim to fame. Well, 1892 is a nice,
Right, it's a nice kit. It's great for after work, but you still got to take care of the
the
guys.
guy that's going to build.
America.
Yep. That's what we want to do. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out too is all of our shoes in the Thorogood family with a removable insert. Much like you pointed out in your videos, I'll do the same thing. This is a 2-density
Yep. The US
polyurethane. And again, like you say, we have the pour-on inside the shoe, and most companies stop there.
Yeah.
Like when you go in and buy certain other brands, they'll stop at the pour-on. And what we do is we try to build our boot from the inside out with comfort in mind.
There's actually certain guys that remove the insole and they wear it without, especially this boot.
Yes.
Certain tile setters I know
Yes.
will not wear the 4200 with the insole. Not because they don't like the insole, it's that fine, they're on their knees, it's that fine touch that they get to slide around with. They don't want to have this little bit of movement. I could get caught on something.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Well, it also changes the fit of the shoe too. I mean, sometimes they'll say, geez, this is a little snug. You can literally pull this out, wear it without it, till the leather breaks in if you want, or you can put it back in at any point in time.
Super versatile.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it looks good with a pair of jeans as well as it looks good on the job site.
Right. It fits so many different people.
These are so durable.
Yeah. And that pattern has been in our family's history, in our Weinberger family for since the early 30s. That's actually the original lace that was roofing. And in Asia, they refer to it as the Martens.
What's Polish gym shoe? That was literally what
Your Polish gym shoe?
this was. This model in the Thorogood line. Polish gym shoe.
You know,
I would
this,
have customers ask me 20 years ago, "Do you carry Polish gym shoes?" What the hell are you talking? I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
But no, this is what
I've
they
never
do.
heard it referred to
Well,
that.
how many roofers for so long were Polish?
True.
And then they would wear this to the job, go
Yep.
home,
Well,
go
and the
to
reason-
gym,
the reason
which
this
was just lifting bricks.
The reason it was designed this way, this is 2 full pieces of leather, 2 full 4-ounce pieces of leather. And a lot of guys, as you're roofing, you're on the side of your shoe or the side of your foot going up and down that. And a single layer, they'd burn out right away. So that's why this was designed. And of course, obviously, the lace to toe opens it up so you can accommodate a wide foot or a skinny foot and get it as snug as you want or as loose as you want.
Why the green stitch? Is there a reason why it's green?
Well, the green stitch originally, when thread was made back in the day, there was only a couple colors. There wasn't any tan or black. I mean, it was green primarily and brown. So green obviously accented it. And from my understanding, what I can do in my history is because the color was available, that's what we used.
Okay.
It's one of the most unique boots you'll find.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the colors, the leather, everything.
What we did here, we're bringing this back out for next season under the 1892 label, is we used our accents, which would be Chrome XL, on the front and the back, and on the collar as well. Yep. And we can get this is as close to the original as we can find. And the fact we even put the cork sole on it. And the reason that we used cork was back in the day in where these guys would not only use these for roofing, but in the dairy industry in the Midlands, here in the Midwest, this material is shit, piss, and acid resistant.
The acids.
So
wow.
this natural nitrile cork, the farmer would come into the house, he could wipe his shoes off. The missus wouldn't get mad because it wasn't lug. He could go in, have lunch, come back, go do his job in the farm
Wow.
as well. So it has dual purposes. It is a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a beautiful tool. Repair Klein pliers. This is it. It's a beautiful tool.
It is. It is. Yep. Nice piece of footwear.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like a tennis shoe. You literally, like I've always told people, it's job fitted, but you earn the right to wear these. You literally do. There is some break-in period. It's not like putting on a pair of 4200s, which require no break-in.
Right.
This, on the other hand, will require some break-in.
I can testify to that.
Yeah, you got a pair.
I
and
haven't
that's
taken-
all Chrome XL.
I haven't taken them off.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you had them?
2 weeks now,
Okay.
and I have not taken them off. I can't. Honestly, I can't.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say
I
that.
made dinner for the last 3 nights in my boots because I didn't want to take them off. I felt great. I didn't want to walk around barefoot.
Wow.
Yeah, they have broken into. I don't think anybody else could wear this pair of shoes.
No, I'm sure not.
And right now, the way it is,
Sure
the way
not.
I've sweated in it, and the way I've walked, I mean,
Yeah. When you put it in, I'm sure that leather has formed your foot. Your foot's got
it goes
crooks
right.
and
It
groins
goes,
or whatever.
it goes
but
right to my pinky toes are just perfect place. And it's just holding me. I love it.
I'm glad to hear that. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it. I mean, the 1892 collection has been around for 7 years now, and really the last 3 years it's been introduced here in the U.S. Obviously, Contacts is one of my key players, but we have about 11 shops throughout the United States that carry the brand right now, and we're just trying to grow organically, one shop at a time, and see what we can do.
You're doing a beautiful job, man.
Thank you.
You make great shoes.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be sure to tell the people that because, it's as I'm standing here, there's 340 people behind me making shoes in this factory. So,
And I got to thank them because they do a great job.
yeah. Well, we've got to get you up to Merrill. You've got to get in the car and drive all the way up to Merrill, and we'll have a good old Wisconsin fish fry. We'll give you a factory tour, and you'll see. In fact, we've done a lot of things in our factory that years ago we would have never thought of. We've always changed everything now to lean manufacturing. So when you see the factory today, it looks a lot different than it did 5 years ago, 10
Okay.
years ago. So I think when you come up, you'll be impressed what you see both in the Marshall facility and the Merrill facility.
We're going. We're going. Everybody's got thumbs up. We're going.
That's there it is.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. We got Thanksgiving. We got to recover.
Right, that's right, exactly. But I know you'll be very pleased. Very pleased. So
Guys,
I do volunteer to test out the new waterproof.